Okay, let's dive into what might be one of the most controversial books on your shelf. It's been called a masterclass in manipulation, a playbook for the power-hungry, and, weirdly enough, an essential tool for just surviving the modern world. Today, we're cracking open Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. In that quote from Machiavelli, it just nails the entire vibe of this book. The world, it argues, is this constant, subtle game of power. And if you're naive about it, well, your naivete is just an opportunity for someone else. These laws are basically the brutal, unwritten rules for anyone who wants to play to win. So here's the core idea. All the polite smiles and handshakes of modern life, it's pretty much a mask. Underneath it all, the book says we're still operating with the same dynamics as the old royal courts. You know, full of treachery, secret alliances, and this constant, quiet struggle for who's on top.
According to this philosophy, you don't really get to opt out of the game of power. It's happening all around you every single day, whether you like it or not. So your only real choice is this. Are you going to be a player, or are you going to be a pawn? This book is basically the ultimate amoral playbook for anyone who decides they'd rather be a player.
So where do you even begin? Well, the first battlefield is perception. Greene argues that it's not really about who you are, it's about who people think you are. If you want to master the game, you've got to master your own image first.
Now, this one feels totally backward, right? But it's so powerful. Think about the artist Andy Warhol. He figured out that, quote, you actually have more power when you shut up. When you say less, your words suddenly have more weight. You seem more profound. And maybe more importantly, you don't accidentally give away crucial information. You leave people guessing.
And this little chart just sums up the whole philosophy of the book. It takes all the things we're told are good, be honest, be a team player, be humble, and it just flips them upside down. Honesty? Nope. Hide your real plans. Teamwork? Sure, as long as you get all the credit. Humility? Forget it. The book literally argues it's better to be attacked and slandered than to just be ignored.
This law is probably one of the most infamous, and the book uses a classic and pretty tragic story to make its point: the relationship between Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. It is a perfect and painful example of this law in action.
All right, so picture this. It's the 1880s. You've got Nikola Tesla, this absolute scientific genius, an immigrant with incredible ideas. He goes to work for Thomas Edison, who isn't so much a pure scientist as he is a brilliant inventor, a master marketer, and a really savvy businessman.
So Edison promises Tesla what would be over $1 million today to fix his entire DC system. Tesla, being a genius, works day and night and pulls it off. But when he goes to collect his bonus, Edison just laughs in his face, saying he doesn't get American humor. Edison built an empire on Tesla's brilliance, while the man who did the work died penniless. It's a brutal lesson in who ends up getting the credit. So once you've polished your image, what's next? Well, now you have to deal with other people. This is where the book shifts from defense to offense, laying out some really ruthless strategies for outsmarting your rivals and getting what you want.
Counting on someone to help you out of the kindness of their heart? Or because you helped them in the past? The book says that's a fool's game. You have to forget about gratitude. Everyone, from the bottom to the very top, is always asking themselves one simple question: what's in it for me? I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Mercy and gratitude are flimsy. They snap under pressure. But self-interest? If you can show someone how helping you also helps them get what they want, well, you've just created a bond that's strong and reliable because it's based on mutual gain, not some fuzzy emotion. Okay, this one might be the most chilling law of all. The book basically argues your friends are a liability. Why? Because familiarity breeds envy. They know your weaknesses, they can get resentful, and they're the most likely to betray you. But a former enemy? If you can win them over to your side, they'll often be more loyal because they feel like they have to prove themselves to you. Even Machiavelli noticed that new leaders often got more loyalty from people they used to distrust than from their own inner circle. But listen, this ruthless climb to the top isn't some risk-free adventure. The book is also packed with cautionary tales. So let's shift gears for a second, because playing this game can, and does, backfire spectacularly. One of the biggest traps for powerful people is isolation. You get scared of enemies, you worry about conspiracies, so you retreat. You build this fortress around yourself, filled with people who only tell you what you want to hear. But that fortress, it cuts you off from reality, and it makes you a sitting duck. The book uses the tragic fall of a Roman emperor to show exactly how this plays out. It's a tale as old as time. The emperor gets paranoid and pulls away from the action. He thinks he's making himself safer, but really, he's just blinding himself. His ministers, the very people he put in charge to protect him, realize he has no clue what's actually going on. They control all the information, they plot in the shadows, and eventually, he's taken out. He built a fortress and ended up dying in it, a prisoner of his own fear. So, after all these dark strategies and cynical stories, what are we supposed to do with all this? The book isn't necessarily telling you to become a monster. It's more like it's giving you a special pair of glasses, a way to see the world as it is, not as we wish it would be.
And that really is the central question here, isn't it? Is this book just describing the uncomfortable, unspoken truths about how people operate, or is it actively teaching you how to be a toxic, manipulative person? Is it a textbook for psychopaths, or is it just a lesson in reality?
You know, maybe the most valuable way to use the 48 Laws of Power is as a field guide for your own defense. When you understand these tactics, when you see someone taking credit they don't deserve or trying to isolate a rival, you can recognize the game being played against you. Knowing the rules is the best way to keep from becoming a pawn.
At the end of the day, the power is in your hands. Understanding these laws doesn't mean you have to use them, but it does mean you're aware. You can see the chessboard, you know the rules, and you can see what moves other people are making. How you choose to play from there? Well, that part is all up to you.